Khubor ka Batisi TV. Lawan Rashapi da ka Frank Motors. The dark is here to rule.
Tnat Public Health Engineering jong sarkar jala haka arpu artri uleber arajar arpulai kala Rakhe yaka World Water Day haka jengalang kabalalong hau susutham auditorium Shillong haka bau menteri rangwa jong jala u Konrad Kongkel sangma ulalong kumukongsan haringkat ke jiksan ran lang jong menteri Tnat Water Resources uba komengwan emban wat menteri Tnat Public Health Engineering Marcus N. Marak.
The presentation that was given by Dr. Shakil Ahmed has been very, very detailed, and he has been able to connect all the different dots and present the past, the present and the future scenario to all of us to help us realize how important it is for us to plan things. In the presentation, I was noticing, and I'm sure all of you noticed, that we receive almost 63 billion cubic meters of rainfall every year. And out of this 63 billion cubic meters, roughly about 31 flows down to Bangladesh, and about 31 billion cubic meters flows down to Brahmaputra. And hence, we are at the end of the day left with about 1.5 to 2 billion cubic meters of water, which we end up utilizing for our different needs. And hence, as was mentioned, as a state and as a people of Meghalaya, we are indeed blessed that we are one of the few states that receives water abundantly, more than what we require. In fact, if you look at the whole requirement projections that are there for the next 50 years, Meghalaya can add 6% to the requirement of the entire nation. That's how much water we get. And therefore, the crux of the matter, the problem is really, at the end of the day, on how we manage things. And we have seen that in the last 50 years, we have to some extent not been as efficient as we should have been or could have been in order to ensure that we are able to manage the water that we are blessed with in a much more efficient manner. And that is the precise reason why we are all here today. And that's also precisely the reason why we are having and observing the World Water Day. It is also the reason why we are seeing all the different departments come together. Departments that are dealing with water. And in the process of implementing schemes, in the process of ensuring that we are able to submit the utilization certificates on time, sometimes we lose track of the purpose or the final goal or objective that we are all here for. And hence, I always, in many of my speeches, I tell our departments and officials that it is important to remind ourselves constantly of what is the actual purpose at the end of the day. I asked the departments of irrigation once. This is when I was a member of parliament. I asked them in a meeting, I was having a Disha meeting, and I asked them that, how do you judge the success of the schemes that you are implementing? And the irrigation department officials told me, sir, by the length of the canals that we are constructing. That is how we are able to judge the success. And I told him, no, that's wrong. The way that you will judge the success of your work is by the increase in the production of the agriculture product for which the canal is being made. We should ensure that we are able to provide enough and sufficient drinking water to the citizens of our state in different parts of the state. At the same time, we should be able to have enough water managed in a proper manner so that we are able to supply for different agriculture products or production purposes, for different fisheries projects that we are having, all tourism related projects, and so on and so forth. And hence, I would like to urge all of you that while we work in our respective departments, we should not lose sight of the ultimate objective that is there in front of us and not get into a scheme-based approach in order to complete our schemes and lose track of the real purpose of what we are trying to do. While I say this, Meghalaya has been one of the better performing states where we have come out with our water policy. And I remember our Honorable Minister for Jal Shakti had come, and he had made this comment last time when he had come here, saying that Meghalaya is one of the few states that has got the picture correct. Because it is not just about implementing the Jal Jeevan program where you construct the tanks and put the water pipes, but it is also at the end of the day about how you manage the source of the water supply. And hence Meghalaya has had a holistic plan of ensuring that we protect our water bodies, we protect our catchment areas, we rejuvenate our spring sheds, we rejuvenate or recharge the groundwater, we create reservoirs so that we can slow the flow of the water. And all these other measures are being done in coordination with other departments, keeping the larger picture in mind to ensure that it's not just about fitting pipes, which what Jal Jeevan does, but we're also looking at how to maintain the water table, maintain the overall reservoirs, the spring sheds, and protect our catchment areas. I was telling him about, which Dr. Shikil just mentioned, the payment for ecosystem services is one of the most unique programs that our state is doing. And in fact, in the whole country, we are the only state that is doing this program. And the logic behind this program, for those who may not be aware, is that for the first time, government is paying people to not destroy the forest. We have budgeted close to 50 crores to be distributed to different community forests, individually owned forests, forests owned by traditional heads. Any of them are eligible to receive this. And hence these kind of unique programs have come up. We have large projects coming up for creation of reservoirs, catchment area protections. All these are very, very unique programs, and Meghalaya is on the right track to actually ensure that we are able to manage our water better in the long run. I also would like to congratulate our PHE minister, because he got the timing very, very right. I'm sure the World Water Day was, of course, not planned by him, but it happens to be on this day. But it was very, I should say, very thoughtful of him of inviting me just before I present the budget tomorrow, so that I keep in mind that we need to keep higher budget for water projects. I'd like to maybe present a picture about the entire water scenario, and you'll be able to then really gauge the amount of importance that our government in the past 5 years and in the coming next 5 years, the importance that we're going to give to water. Huge projects that one would not be able to imagine could ever be done at this scale in a state like Meghalaya are going to be done in the coming years. And we will start off with this budget, and you will see tomorrow that there will be a large amount that will be kept for a lot of the water projects. We have been able to mobilize externally aided projects, whether it is for catchment area protection, whether it's for eco-restoration projects, whether it is for natural resource management, or whether it is for creation of reservoirs. The amount runs into thousands of crores. I'm not talking of lakhs of few crores. I'm talking about thousands of crores. And that's the kind of focus that we have on water. And that's the reason why when the Honorable Minister mentioned this to me, I was very happy to be part of this project, of this celebration today. And once again, I thank him. And I'm sure that with the kind of leadership that we have of our ministers and also the officials who are working in the different departments, I can assure you that a lot of exciting times are coming ahead. And I can see that Meghalaya is going to be showing the way to many other parts of the country in terms of how to ensure that we have a very robust policy plan and implementation on ensuring that we manage our water well. The different groups that we have created, that we have a village water and sanitation committee at every village. There have been 6,000 such committees are there today. And hence, we are not just talking about government department and officials working. This entire infrastructure, the entire institutional setup, and this entire organizational setup, it goes down all the way to the village level. That's the kind of structure that has been created, and hence today, if you want to implement things, you can imagine that with a strong force of about 6,000 such committees at the village level, and with our team of officials, and with the dynamic ministers that we have, I'm sure that we will be able to see a huge difference in the water scenario in the state, which, as was mentioned earlier, is a very, very important aspect. We don't realize it today, but we are looking at, in the next 10 to 15 to 20 years, a huge water crisis in the country.
Hãy subscribe cho kênh Ghiền Mì Gõ để không bỏ lỡ